Welcome to my YouTube channel Perth Brightside. Before starting this video, I am not any consultant or Mara agent. The information I am providing based on my experience and knowledge. If you found my information wrong, please help me to correct it. In this video we will talk about multiple updates. 1. NSW Premier Gladys Berejiklian resigns, and now new NSW Premier is Dominic Perrottet. 2. How Indian international student can return to Australia this year. 3. Australia is set to begin reopening international borders next month 1st of November. Please like this video and subscribe my YouTube channel. So, let's start the video. As you might aware about the NSW Premier Gladys Berejiklian, that she has resigned from both Premier and from Parliament after the EGA said they would continue their investigation into her conduct. There are some corruption investigations is going on her.
I cannot predict how long it will take the ICAC to complete this investigation, let alone deliver a report in circumstances where I was first called to give evidence at a public hearing nearly 12 months ago. Therefore, it pains me to announce that I have no option but to resign from the office of Premier. My resignation will take effect as soon as the New South Wales Liberal Party can elect a new parliamentary leader.
Dominic Perrottet is now new NSW Premier and replaced Gladys Berejiklian.
The first thing I want to do today is to acknowledge my predecessor and pay tribute to her, Gladys Berejiklian, whose strong and steady leadership has seen us through so many difficult challenges. Everyone would agree that her hard work, tireless dedication, and total commitment to her job was second to none. She's been an inspiring role model for many, especially women and migrant communities. And that's just one of the reasons why I believe there has been such an outpouring of support over the last few days. It is my hope that I will continue the strong leadership that Gladys has shown throughout this pandemic.
How Indian international students can return Australia this year. This announcement has made on 4 days ago that the Minister for Trade, Tourism and Investment Dan Tehan has said a small number of students may be able to fly back to Australian shores as early as the end of 2021. The Australian government is hopeful international students may begin to return to campuses in small batches through pilot programs put forth by state governments. The development follows the approval of the Covishield vaccine, an Indian-made version of AstraZeneca, for incoming international travellers. It means if you have taken Covishield both doses, you can return back to Australia. Commenting on the development, Mr. Tehan told the Indian media that students from the South Asian nation can return to the Australian shores in time for the next intake in 2022. Mr. Tehan said, "It means that the pathway for our Indian international students to return to Australia is there again, and with semester 1 starting in February/March next year, those international students will be able to start returning towards the end of this year and the beginning of next year. Small number of vaccinated international students can return by December, and in large numbers by 2022. The announcement comes on the heels of the Morrison government's decision to bring back skilled migrants and international students after the priority return of Australian citizens and permanent residents stranded overseas when the borders reopen next month. While the first phase of the NSW plan is anticipated to bring back 500 students to Sydney on chartered flights, a small group of 160 students will be allowed back into Adelaide as part of the SA government's plan. Australia is set to begin reopening international border from next month. Australia is set to begin reopening international borders in November, bringing an end to people having to seek government permission to leave the country. The federal government has confirmed the return of overseas travel will come as states and territories hit the 80% double-dosed vaccination target. On 10 October, Prime Minister Scott Morrison says he's working with the New South Wales government to accelerate opening of international borders into the state sooner than expected. Mr. Morrison said, "The NSW Premier, Dominic Perrottet, and I have been discussing how we can accelerate our plan to open international travel when home quarantine is made available." NSW Premier Dominic Perrottet said, "We want to open up border as quickly as possible." From November 1, 2021, state government set to remove caps on international travellers, opening NSW to the world. Mr. Morrison said, "I know the NSW government is looking to fast-track home quarantine in November, and if that happens, we will be able to move to facilitate the opening up of the international border into NSW sooner." A smartphone application is already being trialed. It would use location tracking and facial recognition to monitor vaccinated travelers. There will be 7 days home quarantine. He said Australia has administered more than 30 million vaccines nationwide. This means 82.2% of eligible Australians over the age of 16 have had a first COVID-19 dose, and 61.9% with both doses. In fact, of the whole population, more than half of Australians are now vaccinated. It's expected to finish 70% fully vaccinated till 21st of October, 2021 and 80% by 3rd November. Qantas will start their flights when the date will confirm. Their first flight will fly for LA and London. On December 1, 2021, Australia will start flights for Fiji. Fiji Airways will run twice a day from Sydney. This is the end of today's video. I hope you like it. Please press like and subscribe the channel for more updates. See you in the next video. Till then, goodbye and take care.